Hey there, Fidget Tony here. I wanted to give you a short tour of a really off-the-wall project that I did. It all first started with my youngest son wanting a sign to be in his room. He wasn't sure what kind of sign he wanted. He was thinking a stoplight or something, blinking, electrical. And so we went into a junkyard and we came across this thing right here. This was an old-fashioned pedestrian walking sign. I'll turn it on to kind of show you what it all looks like and how I ended up getting. This is the epitome of scope creep. Um, it started with, okay, we buy a sign that was originally intended to be hanging from a pole. How on earth am I going to get this to be in a room? And better yet, how are we going to control it? And what is the nature of the controls? So it was a process of just deep thinking after you do an impulse buy at a junkyard. And I kept thinking about it, how on earth is this all going to come together? So I knew I needed to have some sort of a stand, a box, or something about it to support it. And so I just kept thinking, sleeping on it, trying to do some drawings. It's hard to do drawings, but eventually I came up with this idea. So it's got a few different things. Let me walk you through it. So I bought, everything is pretty much an Amazon purchase here. So what the first thing I got, he left it on, is this control panel. So I decided, well, what else can I do to make this thing interesting, right? Besides having just a flip switch. So I decided, well, how about an LED light that blinks? I don't know, I'll call it a warning light. And then a buzzer, so I found a buzzer. So let's just see what a buzzer does. And then when I bought this box, I realized all of these buttons were either normally open, normally closed, or normally open, normally closed. This is sort of like a two-way switch and this sort of emergency switch. So I wasn't quite sure how on earth I was going to integrate everything, but I thought, why not? Let's just try. And what I was really interested in was, how do I integrate these old-fashioned dials that you might see in an old power plant or in industrial purposes? So I thought, oh, I'd try that. Then I realized, well, I got to deliver power to this system. How on earth am I going to do that? Well, when I designed the box, I realized, and I'm going to stick one of these power ports underneath here. All right, so I plug it in. I can plug it in. And you flip the switch. When you flip the switch, the first voltmeter turns on. And then you have this sort of energy monitoring panel. Well, it measures power, watts, voltage, frequency, amps, sort of my system monitor. And as you can tell, it's not on right now. And the reason being is I have the emergency button off. So when you turn it on by just flipping that, you'll see this voltage. All right, so now we got voltage in the circuit. And I think if I were to if I dim these lights on my camera down, these light up. Pretty nifty, huh? So what should we do first? Let's do the light. Let's do the sign, I mean. So left or right? Well, let's go positive. Right, there we go. The little walking man. And then you flip that this way. No. No walking. And let's see, what else can we do? We can turn on this green light just for giggles. Let's make the buzzer. Well, let's turn this on. And then let's push the buzzer. This is one that you want this switch to be normally open and not normally closed, because eventually you have to get tired of holding your finger there, and when you let go, it turns off. That was on purpose. And then this red switch, well, what does that do? Sign pause. So let's see, if you push the lights, push the button, it turns off the switch. The switch turns off the light. That's pretty cool. And it goes this way too. Same thing. And then of course, when you're tired of all this, you can just push that in. And then the voltage here drops. There's still voltage here. And you can just flip that switch and then everything is off. The other thing I did was I got these sort of lockout padlocks. And I have this box hardware. So 3 of these. There's actually one right here on top. I have these corner hardware. Now this box, I made it out of birch plywood. This is pine on the sides. And I made a rabbet in the pine so that the board actually sits down below. And I on purpose created it a little deeper to create a relief, this sort of lip, this edge, this shadow line. I thought of that as a design idea. And I had taken these off of an old box and I had saved them and I didn't know when I would use them again, but you know, here it is, chrome. I think it matches the whole industrial look. Let's open up this box. Video in portrait mode on purpose so we can get a nice view. So I took off the padlocks. Now the reason I locked this is because there's live electricity in here. So let's open this up and show you what's inside. There it is. This is all the electrical wiring for the entire system. There's a box here that has wiring for distribution. Things are coming in, coming out. This box here, holy cow. I don't want to undo these bolts because the lid is also, these bolts keep the lid in, but also it's inside here. So I decided to leave the inside a natural finish of wood. I thought I'd really like to see that contrast between the painted surface and the wood. I cut a slot across the entire width of the back, knowing that this is wider than 16 inches, but you never know, exactly where your studs are, and from just fastening this and holding this, I'm just using screws and washers through a slotted hole. Seems to be working. I put felt pads in the back so it doesn't scratch the wall. Yeah, this is sort of how I heat shrunk all the connectors for my voltages. So that's all exposed wiring. So when the current is in there, that's live electricity to the touch. And all the wiring, you can get a little bit of a glimpse. There's a lot of wiring in here. This was, what I'll do is I think I took a photo of what this looked like on the inside just to see how many wires it takes to run all of these switches in and out. I was a little surprised by it, but I really like how it turned out. And my son, after I built it, didn't want it in his room, so just now it's in our basement family room, hanging on the wall. I don't know what I call this, but he does play with it once in a while. So I thought, that's pretty cool, and I'm glad he does that. And I think it's pretty neat. I'll save it. Who knows, maybe I'll give it away as a gift someday. I don't know, yeah. Well, thank you. Hope you liked this little video, this demo. Don't know what I'm going to do next as a fun project, but this is sort of like a fun thing. This is totally just for joy and pleasure, to put a smile on someone's face. Thanks. Bye.